Hey guys, it's Caleb from Rokblokz. Today in the shop we have this Lexus GX550. We've got a new mud flap kit for it, so let's go ahead and show you how to install it. Here we have the tools laid out that you'll need for install. Today we'll be using our 90-degree screwdriver with Phillips head bits, and you'll also need a T25 bit. Then you'll need a set of insert pliers or a flathead for some of the inserts on the vehicle. Then we'll also be using a 5/8 socket with a ratchet and a level. Here we have the front laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your front flap for that corner and then the hardware. We'll go ahead and put a breakdown of that hardware on the screen right now. Before we head to the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and bend our flap at these bend lines. To do so, we're going to take it and we're going to start with the first bend here, and we're going to bend that up. With the logo facing up is how we're going to bend it. So I'm going to bend that just along that line. It says bend to 45, but we want it to rest at 45, so we're going to overbend it just a little bit. And with that one done, we can now flip our flap over, and the etching is on the other side, but it wants you to bend it the opposite way. This is the easiest, or if you have an edge, you can lean the flap over the edge and bend it down like the instructions say. So go ahead, bend that way, and you may find yourself kind of working both to get it into its proper position, back and forth. So we're going to overbend it, and now we're going to take that and bend it back just a few times. You'll want to make sure that you're bending with it at least in a room that's above 65 degrees. So that way the flap and the material is nice and warm. If you bend it cold, it's not favorable to the plastic. It makes it more difficult to bend. So if it's a little bit warmer, or you let it sit outside in the sun for a little bit, it's going to make your bends a little bit easier. So now that we have it, it's kind of resting at that 45-degree angle that we want. We can head over to the vehicle and begin installing. Here we are at the front fender. We're going to begin by removing the screws located here, here, and here inside the fender. And today we'll also be utilizing these two inner holes here on the frame for mounting our flap. So we're going to begin by taking our insert puller or a flathead, popping this insert. We pre-loosened ours. We'll get that out of the way, and then we're going to take a T25 Torx and remove both screws. With the OEM hardware to the side, we're going to go ahead and grab one of our 1-inch flathead screws with a dress washer. We're going to lift our flap up into position. This inner portion will go behind the liner, and we're going to align our outer bottom hole with the mount hole in the fender. Get that lined up, and we'll get it started by hand. With that started by hand, we'll go ahead and grab our second 1-inch flathead screw with a dress washer, placing that through the flap. On the back side, we'll use the large 1.25-inch washer on the inside as a spacer. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get those tightened down. I'm going to put a Phillips head screwdriver in our ratchet. We're going to go ahead and get those lightly snugged down. Kind of setting our flap into position. Now we can go ahead and take our large 7/16 bolts, and these are going to go through the two inner holes on our flap and into the holes on the frame there. Now with those two large bolts in the frame, we can go ahead and get those lightly snugged down too. We don't want them fully tight just yet. With them lightly snugged down, we can now go ahead, adjust our flap to our liking, checking along the bottom edge with a level. get it to where we like it and where it looks good. And then we'll go ahead and fully lock down all the screws. With those fully tightened down, that completes the front install. You can repeat these same steps on the other side. Now let's go ahead and jump to the rear. Here we have the rear laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your flap for that corner, your mount tabs, and the hardware. We'll go ahead and put a breakdown of that hardware on the screen right now. Before we head to the vehicle, we're going to pre-assemble our flap by pulling our mount tabs through the flap, pulling them from the side without the logo to the side with the logo. So we're just going to take these and we're going to slide them through these holes. Just click them into place. We'll do the second one here. Click it into place. Now we're good to head over to the vehicle and begin installing. Here we are at the rear of the vehicle. We're going to begin by removing the OEM screws from the bottom, and then we will be removing the inner insert right here, simply by taking our insert pullers. We're going to get underneath it and kind of pop the core. Once you've popped the center out, you can go ahead, remove that. And then on the bottom, we'll be using the T25 Torx to remove the two screws. We'll be removing these two screws here. With the OEM hardware removed, we can now go ahead and place our clips over the dimples located on the fender here and here. And then we'll take our 1/4-inch insert. With that insert, it will come with a plastic plunger. We're going to go ahead and remove that for the install because we'll use this and a screw. The insert will place into the upper hole here, and then the clips will place over the dimples. If you're having a hard time locating the dimples, if you press your liner in, you'll see a recess or a cutout on the liner, and it should be located around that area. Ours, we've gone ahead and we've highlighted with a little bit of a silver Sharpie to kind of make them stand out in the video, but they're just located right here and right here. We're going to go ahead and put our insert over top, like so. Place our bottom insert over the bottom one there. And those are just going to sit like that. Now we can go ahead, grab our flap. We're going to grab our 1-inch flathead screws. We'll grab 2 of them with 2 dress washers. We're going to use those, and we're going to start at the bottom holes and work our way to the top. Now, starting at our bottom 2 holes, we're going to take our 1-inch screws. We're going to get those started into the inserts down on the bottom. We'll take our Phillips head drive and our ratchet. We're going to go ahead and get those snugged up but left slightly loose so we can adjust the flap. Now we're going to jump back up to the front side and continue on. Next, we're going to take our long screw, put it through our dress washer, place it through our upper hole, put our 1.25-inch washer on there, and then our 7.5mm spacer, and that's going to go into the upper insert. And what that's going to do is support the top portion of the flap, and it will align our middle portion of our flap with our clips. It might take some time to get that one to catch. Just keep with inward pressure as you're trying to tighten that screw. And now for these 2 holes here. If you want, and you can easily locate the dimples, you can go ahead and pre-drill them with an 1/8-inch drill bit. But for the install today, I'm going to show you that you can just use the screw provided, and that will pierce through the liner at those dimples. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 1-inch screw with a dress washer. We're going to align it with the clip and the dimple that is located behind it. And we're just going to put our screwdriver on there. If you have the wheel off, you'll have a little more space. You can do this on the ground with a 90°. Just make sure you have inward pressure pushing onto it, and then just start threading it in. And that dimple will help the screw center, and then it will eventually pierce and go through and thread in through the bumper and into the clip that we have located on the bumper. Go ahead and get that lightly snugged up. We'll repeat that for the next hole right here. Just getting that, making sure our clip is aligned with our dimple. So that's going to be the easiest place. Just some inward pressure. Now that we have all our screws started and lightly snugged up, we can go ahead and adjust our flap, getting it set to where we want. Check along the bottom with a level. Now we're going to go ahead and fully tighten down all of our screws. With those fully tightened down, that completes the rear install. You can repeat these same steps on the other side. Thanks for watching.